Hello and welcome to Me and My Golf TV. You've joined us at the Asprey. I'm Piers Ward.
And I'm Andy Proudman. Today we're talking about my golf swing. We're going to be showing you some of the physical and technical changes that I've made through the winter. Let's take charge of my game.
Okay, so yesterday we were talking about Tiger Woods and his swing changes with Chris Como. So we thought, well, we've got to find someone else to do. We quite enjoyed doing that video, so let's get someone else we can talk about and their swing changes. So
Someone
we
better.
came up.
Should we get someone better?
Someone better. How's about Andy Proudman? Okay, so yes, we're talking about his swing changes. Now, I don't know whether you've seen these videos before. If you haven't, it's well worth looking at the videos that we did in September at on our Take Charge tour at the TPI, so Titleist Performance Institute in Southern California, with Dave Phillips from TPI.
It was a little bit warmer then as well.
It was a little bit warmer than it is now, isn't it? Yeah, but we did that 3 to 4 months ago now. And what the whole idea of TPI is that when you go there, they give you a full game assessment. So they look at your body and how your body works, and also then look at your golf swing. And if they see something wrong in your golf swing, they then know straight away instantaneously whether it could be caused by a fault in the body. So something going wrong, a lack of mobility or lack of strength in the body. So Andy was assessed, very good at Dave to spend the whole day with us. Andy was assessed and we found a few physical limitations, didn't we? So Andy, let's go through, first of all, before we do that, your bad shot. So what is your bad shot?
So my bad shot is either a hook or, well, it was either a hook or a push. So I could hit it both sides really. Yeah, so a hook and a push.
So a hook and a push, so right and left. So straight away, for a good golfer or for any golfer, you're standing on the tee or the fairway thinking it could go right or left. That's a bad thing. So good idea, first of all, would be to get rid of one of those. Okay, so lack of consistency. So from the physical screen, there was one thing that really sort of stood out there. What was that?
Yeah, so from the physical assessment, we highlighted and we found that I was limited in my internal hip rotation. So that means that my hip on the way through in this area here, as I swing through, this is limited on rotating internally.
So just the left hip, just his lead hip.
The right hip was pretty good. That's sort of just about passed, but the lead hip here was limited compared to the right, which actually did show up in the golf swing.
Absolutely. So how did it show up in the golf swing?
Okay, so I mean, this is basically an update of what I've been doing in the last 4 months. I've been working in the gym, doing some flexibility work and combining the drills that Dave gave us. So in the golf swing, how this showed up is the first thing we saw actually in the backswing was that as I swung back, what would happen is my right hip would actually move in away from my sway line that we put in here. So I'd actually, rather than load my right side, I was actually sort of reverse a little bit and go this way. Okay, now I would sort of stay quite centered here, but on the downswing now I would shift my weight a little too early. Okay, and then because of my limited mobility in this lead hip, I find it very hard to actually clear the left side. So at impact here, I would be very almost buckled with this lead leg. It would still be bent. I would have a little bit of a slide, and then that would limit the amount of rotation. And when this is limited on the way through, it's very hard to keep this club face square pitch.
Absolutely.
We know often then that it can get stuck behind me and I can flip it, or I can actually hit it outright.
Hands and arms being very active through the ball.
So we actually identified the swing fault, but then linked it up to the physical limitation here, that actually I was limited on this rotation element of the golf swing, and it really did show up.
So if you can't rotate there, then obviously you're not going to be able to, as you said, you're not going to be able to do the natural things that we want you to do with the golf.
Exactly, yeah. So at impact, where we would like to see this left side is, we would like to see at impact that I would be more rotated with the hips, and this lead leg here would be a lot more straight. Okay, this would give me a lot more clearance and would actually really help keep that club face consistent through the impact.
Absolutely. So, and I know obviously, so the main thing for you was then when you're hitting these shots now, so obviously you've done the flexibility stuff, so the work in the gym and, you know, getting that hip opened out, getting some more mobility in there. What's been your main focus when you've been hitting balls? How have you been doing this? How have you been getting those hips open? Okay,
so first thing I did was to help me, I've made sure this foot is flared out. So this is actually just going to encourage me to rotate. So rather than make it hard on myself and get this foot square, I'm going to flare this foot out. So I've been working hard, and it feels strange this, by the way, or it did, just making sure that foot is flared out for allow a little bit of clearance. But then I've actually just hit some shots where I've took my time, and I've actually felt like I've had a bit of a sway to the right side, but in fact I've been loading this right side.
Just a feeling, not a reality.
So I've been keeping my sort of load into this right hip, and then I've just made sure I've cleared the left side out of the way and felt this left leg straighten here. So you'll see there, sort of more a load on the way back, and then rotation of these hips, clearing the left leg and really finishing very much on this left heel. So my hips definitely feel more rotated and my left leg at impact feels a lot straighter.
Interesting that. So I'll tell you what, hit me a few shots with the iron there, Andy. We'll actually get you hitting some drivers as well. So it's very interesting that Andy has said until he was able to clear that block in that left hip, until he was able to get more mobility in that left hip, he wasn't able to do this. He wasn't able to do this with his golf swing. So as Andy said, the first thing he does when he's hitting balls is he gets his left foot and flares it out. So if you're watching this now, just stand up. Sorry, if you're sitting down, stand up for me and actually get the left foot, point it straight ahead and then turn. Notice how much mobility you've got and then flare it and then turn, and you'll see you've got a lot more mobility. So the left hip helps him from a technical point of view, but also helps if he's still working hard to get that mobility in that
really
left hip.
just feel, like I say, much more flared out, but I feel like a sway and then clear out the way. And my ball flight is so much more neutral, but what I love about this also, it's actually shallowed my angle of attack out.
Yeah.
Because before I would get too much towards the left side, that would cause a little bit too downward angle. I get some big divots and even some really late hits, and you can see from those first two shots there, a lot shallower. And those were mini swings because I can really enhance the awareness there as well.
And it's and what we assessed as well with Andy with the swing faults that he had there, with the iron it wasn't the end of the world. It wasn't. It really. I mean, you probably are a better iron player than you were a driver, but with the driver it really was going to give him some grief. So let's get hold of that driver, Andy, and just sort of go through that. And it's very interesting what you said about the backswing, in how you felt that, you know, the feeling was that you would actually be swaying in your backswing. So you'd load up the right leg and then sway in that backswing. Now, that is very much a feeling, but in reality, he definitely the chances of Andy swaying are pretty much non-existent.
So with the driver, it is a little bit different because we want that upward angle. Now, so that what I did with different with the driver is I would preload my right side. So I'm going to feel that I'm going to favour 60% of my weight on this side, okay? Now from there, I'm going to make sure the foot's still flared out, but from here now, I feel that I sway on the way back into this trail side, so I load this right leg, and the majority of the weight now is all through that right leg.
And as you can see, he has not swayed there. He thinks he has, he feels that he has, his brain is saying, yes, he's moved to the right, but he actually hasn't.
My right side here is working very hard. I can feel the muscles activating as well. So, like I say, load the right leg. I'm feeling I'm loading this on the way back, weight's in that right side, and from here now I feel that I can rotate through and get into a much better position where I'm more behind the golf ball, as opposed to with a driver where I don't want to be, is where I've been for so long, much more steep and much more ahead of it.
Looks great, yeah, good. Hit me a few with the driver as well. Let's see how that looks with the driver. So again, just watch this right hip and you'll see that although Andy is feeling that he's swaying, he doesn't actually do that.
Okay, I feel like I sway on this one.
Very good shot. So again, hit another one there, Andy. We're getting ready for hitting another one. So it's also interesting that talking about exaggerating, Dave actually got you to get a feeling with your arms in the downswing as well with the driver, because as Andy said, he gets a lot of lag, so he leans that shaft well forward, gets steep on it. So one of the drills that actually Dave got him to do was actually feeling that he was throwing the club down early, so getting wider on the way down, almost feeling like doing an early release. So it's actually really interesting that Dave at TPI said, well, let's actually get you swaying. Sorry. From what Andy said back to him, he says, let's get you feeling that you're swaying and feeling that you're early releasing. Now, they are two things that Andy will never be able to do unless, let's say you were to work at this really hard for another year or two, doing the same feelings, then eventually he probably would start to sway and then early release. I don't know whether he would early release, but they're all about feelings and they're the exact opposite of what he was actually doing before. So, Andy, let's hit one more.
Okay. So like you say,
so a sway and an early release.
Very different feeling. We never want anyone to sway an early release, but this is the feeling that I have. So preload that right side, feel the sway, and rotate. And I really felt that I was behind that one. I really felt, I mean, you can see the shot, that was a good shot. I really felt that I could stay behind it more and actually release that club better through the ball, as opposed to, I always feel that I was just getting a bit ahead of it, and then from here I'd be stuck. Both sides from there. No problem. So it's interesting that obviously we just wanted to put this up as an update just to see how Andy was obviously doing with this, and it is interesting that if he hadn't have been screened, then he would have been maybe looking at his golf swing on a video and going, well, do you know what, I want to turn my hip more because I think I should do that. So obviously we understand what you should have done, but by getting the physical assessment as well, we were able to actually pinpoint the main reason for doing this. And sometimes
if you're at home now and you've been doing a swing fault for the last 3 or 4 years, you've been aware of it, you've had lots of lessons, watched lots of videos, and not actually been able to change it, then maybe there is a physical limitation. So go and get that checked if you can. Go and find a TPI certified instructor or a physio who knows what they're on about as far as the golf swing is concerned. Absolutely. So one thing we were talking about as well, Andy, we were in the gym and we were training, we were doing some work. We thought, well, why don't we actually video this? Yeah. We are going to be doing more fitness videos for you this year for you as well. So would you like to see the routine he's been doing? So give us a thumbs up, post your comments down below. Do you want to see how Andy's been getting that left hip?
We'll show you the work that we've been doing in the gym to sort of free up the hips here. So something that you may be able to have a look at and hopefully help you out as well.
Absolutely. Okay, so Andy, so looks like whoever we play in matches this year, we're going to win. But obviously I've been working really hard, so if you have a match against each other, then you won't quite win that one, unfortunately.
We'll see.
Okay guys, look, hope you enjoyed the video. As we said before, just an update on Andy. Maybe we should do some work on my swing this year. Maybe Andy should be giving me a few lessons, maybe. We'll see on that. But yeah, post your comments down below. Hit the share button. Subscribe if you don't already. These videos are for free, so we want to reach out to as many people as possible. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.
Cheers, guys.